New in Stella Architect 3.5 is a feature that allows you to turn numbers into words and words into numbers. Let me demonstrate it to you. It's called number text mappings. So if I start out, I can create a number text mapper, which allows us to change, for instance, the value 1 to be the word on and the number 0 to be the word off. So let me do that by adding a new mapping that turns 1 to on, that turns 0 to off. I hit OK, I hit OK. If I take that and I apply it to this variable called output, okay, which I can do by going to the Scales and Ranges panel and changing the mapping to on-off, you'll see that when I put a numeric display down and put output in it and run the model, it goes from off to on. Likewise, I can take that same numeric display, copy it, come to the interface, and paste it. This feature both works on models and interfaces. The next thing I want to show you is how you can go the other way, turn words into numbers. To do that, I have this variable called switch. Switch is either 0 or 1. And likewise, I could specify the mapping at the variable level, but I'm not in this case. In this case, I'm going to put down a numeric input device, and I'm going to put in it the variable switch, and the minimum is going to be 0, the maximum is going to be 1, and the increment is going to be 1. Okay? You see now that it shows the value 0. If I wanted to show the value off, I do format, switch, mapping, on, off. So just like number formats, number text mappers apply at all of the levels of cascading. So now if I go to the interface here, I can take this off and turn it to on, and that would represent the number 1. Cool, but that isn't all. Number text mapping can also be used on the x-axis of graphs. So let's say, for instance, I put down a graph, and on this graph, I am plotting my switch, which goes from off to on, and the value 0.5, which has no label, is displayed that way. If I want that label to disappear, I can make the number of Y labels be 2. But let's say I want this 1 and this 13 to be start and end. How could I do that? Well, I could go to Manage Number Text Mappings and create a new one. And this one I'll call the time mapping. And this is going to turn the value 1 to start, the value 13 to end, and how about the value 7 to middle? Oop, got to make sure I fill in a value. There we go. Now I can go into Manage Time Labels. I can go ahead and make a new time label, formatting time as a number, using the label time mapping, and I will call this the start, mid, end time format. I hit OK. I make that the default, and now we get start, 4, middle, 10, end. If I want those labels to go away, those other numbers, I can then take this number and bring it down to 3. So using number text mapping, you can turn numbers into words, words into numbers. You can put them on the x-axis of graphs, the y-axis of graphs, and use them in any place where you use number formats, including, for instance, your new model defaults. So if I go into formats, I can also create a bunch of default number text mappings, which will appear in all of my models, both now and in the future.